All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving deep today into a single source.
Ooh, exciting. I love these.
Yeah, me too. So we're looking at a review for a movie. The movie's called The Sabarmati Report. Have you heard of it?
I have not. No?
Yeah, so it's, from what I gather, based on this review, it's about the 2002 Godhra train burning incident in India.
Okay, wow.
And the review is from, it's called MovieKaTicket.
MovieKaTicket.
Yeah, it's a website. It seems like they have like a whole app and everything.
Cool.
Yeah. It looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie, it's
heavy subject matter?
heavy, yeah. 3 out of 5 stars from this review.
Okay.
It's kind of, a mixed bag. But I'm definitely intrigued. I love movies that tackle these like really complicated and
Socially charged.
yeah, exactly. Socially charged, kind of sensitive topics. So I'm curious to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bold move for a filmmaker to kind of like, I mean, that was a huge turning point, that incident in India. It still has repercussions today.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
So to weave a fictional narrative around that, it's definitely a challenge. You got to get it right.
Totally. Yeah, and the review, they kind of lay out the plot.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty gripping, at least on the surface.
Okay, lay it on me.
So there's this journalist named Samar Kumar, and he's uncovering a conspiracy surrounding the train burning incident, like who was behind it, what really happened, that kind of thing.
I see. Oh.
But, and here's where it gets kind of interesting. The review really praises that first half of the film, the setup, the tension building.
Yeah.
But then they say it kind of falls apart in the second half.
Really? How so?
Well, they say it gets like melodramatic.
Melodramatic.
Yeah, and predictable.
See.
Which, I mean, I kind of get it. It's hard, right, to take something that was a real tragedy and then fictionalize it without
exploiting it almost.
Yeah. And the review even mentions the director, Dheeraj Sarna. Apparently this is his, second film. And they kind of critique his direction, saying that maybe he just lacks the nuance.
The subtlety.
Yeah, for such a sensitive subject.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see how that could happen.
Yeah. So I'm curious, for you, as a viewer, is that the kind of thing that would really bother you? Or are you more, drawn in by, the acting, the performances?
Yeah, I think for me, as long as the performances are good, I can forgive a lot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if the acting is, compelling, it really draws you in. The director, the direction is important, but I don't know.
Yeah.
As long as the actors are,
Yeah. Well, speaking of the actors, the review raves about Vikrant Massey. You know him?
Yeah, I know Vikrant Massey. He's great.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And they say he absolutely shines. He is, this journalist, Samar Kumar.
Right.
Apparently he embodies the role.
It's interesting, though, because he's such a, big name.
He is a star, yeah.
And I do wonder sometimes if, when you have these really serious, real life event kind of movies, if it overshadows the event itself, the celebrity can kind of take over and it becomes less about the actual story.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, are you watching a movie about this event or are you watching a Vikrant Massey vehicle?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid point.
Yeah, I think so.
But, to be fair to the film, they do highlight other performances as well. So, Raashii Khanna, she plays a lawyer named Amrita. Yeah. And they say that she also gives a compelling performance, although her character maybe could have been developed a little bit more.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then they mention Riddhi Dogra. Do you know her?
I don't, actually.
Okay, so they call her a revelation.
Wow.
They say she steals the show.
Now that makes me want to see it.
Right.
What is it that she brings to it?
Yeah, maybe she, brings a perspective that the other characters just don't have,
Could be.
So that's really interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the review also gets into, the technical stuff, which, I always find interesting, kind of the nuts and bolts of the movie making.
Yeah, how it all comes together.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of a mixed bag. So the cinematography, they say, is really good. It really captures, the reality of the story, and it's, immersive and all that.
Okay.
But then the editing, especially in the second half, they say it's a little clunky. So I'm wondering, they said the second half was predictable. Maybe the editing plays a role in that.
Yeah, that's a good point. If the editing isn't tight, isn't, building that tension and surprise, it can feel very obvious, where it's going.
Yeah, it can feel very formulaic.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like they're trying too hard to, make it emotional and dramatic.
Yeah, you can definitely go too far with that.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that before, yeah.
And then they also mentioned the music.
Okay.
Which is interesting because music can really, make or break a film.
Oh, for sure. Sets the mood.
Totally. And they mention a couple of the songs, Termir Darmian and Ek Baat Kahoon.
Okay.
They say those were good, memorable, but that sometimes the music felt a little misplaced, like didn't quite fit the scene.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that.
I was curious about that predictable second half. Like why?
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the review give any more like specifics as to,
clues as to why it falls apart?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just the source material itself, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a tough story to adapt.
Maybe. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. So overall, though, the verdict is it's a commendable effort.
Okay.
But inconsistent execution, which is kind of how we started, right?
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But they say it's worth watching for fans of Vikrant Massey. Like, if you're a diehard fan, go see it.
Yeah, I get that.
Or, if you just really love these kind of socially charged, films based on true events.
Yeah, okay.
Just like, be aware that it's not,
Not perfect?
Yeah, not perfect. It has its flaws.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting, though, having heard all this, would you go see it?
That's a good question. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it has the potential to be really great, even if it doesn't totally stick the landing,
Totally.
I do like that it's trying to, grapple with this really difficult event.
Definitely.
And the fact that they highlight these great performances.
Yeah.
That always draws me in.
Absolutely. I think it sounds worth checking out, too.
Yeah, yeah. But, if you're on the fence,
yeah,
maybe check out the full review on MovieKaTicket.com. They'll give you the full rundown.
Yeah, get all the details.
Exactly. But for now, we've given you the highlights, and you can
make your own decision.
Yeah, you can decide for yourself.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. This is a fun one.
This was a great one. I'm intrigued by this movie now. I have to check it out.
Yeah, me too. All right, we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.